The family of a police officer who died under mysterious circumstances during a training exercise have now filed a lawsuit saying that they believe that this was retaliatory violence as a result of that police officer violating what is considered the blue wall of silence. We'll give you details on what the family has said and what actually happened to LA officer Houston Tipping. But yes, they have put forward this actual lawsuit now. It's a result of him dying as a result of catastrophic spinal injuries earlier this year. They say that the department and the city allowed him, Houston Tipping, to teach a class with a reputation for being physical without a supervisor being present, with officers that he'd been actively investigating over allegations of sexual assault. And I'm gonna let them now jump in and give a little bit of information about this case and what they believe. Let's take a look at this.
In July of 2021, 4 police officers were involved in a sexual assault of a woman in the Los Angeles area. A report was taken by Officer Tipping, and I've seen that report. And that report indicates that there was a sexual attack, and it indicates that an object was placed into the sexual organ of the female victim. And the female victim claimed that she was raped by 4 different people, all LAPD officers. She knew the names of some of those officers because they were in uniform and they had their name tags on. And that name of one of those officers with the name tag seems to correlate with one of the officers that was at the bicycle training.
And you're alleging that that officer is the one who hurt Houston.
Correct.
So look, I'm not a lawyer, nor am I an expert on this particular case, but these are the allegations that are being made. Bradley Gage, the attorney for Tipping's mother, says it smacks of a cover-up that you have an individual being unsupervised, having to work in a physical environment with someone who is being actively investigated for an alleged sexual assault, and then these mysterious things happen. But the mystery actually goes a little bit beyond what we've already talked about. On May 29th, 2022, Tipping died from the spinal cord injury that we've been talking about after teaching a multi-day training program about using bicycles for crowd control. While the officer allegedly dropping Tipping may explain that injury, he also suffered broken ribs 2 days before his death, a collapsed lung, liver damage, brain bleeding, and a head laceration that required 6 staples at the time of his death. The LAPD initially blamed Tipping's injured liver injury and broken ribs on an automatic CPR machine known as a Lucas device. But medical records obtained by the family's legal team shows the device, which can break a person's ribs in order to save their life, was attached to the officer but never actually activated. Which again, I can't attest to whether that's true or not. It seems like there would be a log of that. It seems sort of convenient to blame it on that, but if it wasn't activated, then it literally cannot be an explanation for those injuries. And so again, look, obviously this case is complicated, but this being a police department, especially the LAPD, which we know has a particularly toxic environment with gang activity and criminality and cover-ups going back a very long time. A lot of people are very concerned about what's truly behind this case. River, I don't know how much of that you were able to follow with our tech problems, but let me know what you think.
Yeah, no, I caught that story, and being somebody who lives in Los Angeles, I've been aware of this case and what happened. And I mean, really the only thing I can say is that, it turns out that violence is a very violent business, and the LAPD specifically is in the business of violence, And I would hope that this story would get, more eyes, more visibility. Thank you for covering it. Because I think that it's important to show that, often people, for whatever reason, can sort of dismiss the violence that police, specifically the LAPD, takes out on protesters, the unhoused, black people, whatever. We can sort of diminish that in our brains. But this case is police officers allegedly, probably murdering another police officer for doing what we all want reform to do. So to do in the case of police officers, and I think that this case can prove that that is not possible. You can't investigate yourself, So and when someone is outside of you and still a police officer, they will do what they can to stop that from coming out. So I think I wish this family, peace around this, but I think that, it's an important case for the country at large to see, especially right now, that it's toxic, it's violent, and something more needs to be done than just reform and pouring more money into the police.
100%. Yeah, and we don't know. We can only follow the case. We're not making any specific claims because we don't know, but definitely going to be interested to see how this shakes out. For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.